What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. I'm back with another video. Before we get into it, I need y'all to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Next up, we got EBK Jabo, the Reaper, Hip Hop Daily. So let's go ahead and get into it.
EBK Jabo is one of the hottest rappers on the West Coast right now. He keeps catching gun charges though. And today we're diving into his wild come up and the deadly war going on that makes him stay strapped up at all times. EBK Jabo was born and raised in the southeast area of Stockton around 2100 Nightingale Avenue. He said that back in the day when he was a kid, the southeast wasn't that crazy and everyone was just focused on hustling and making money instead of gangbanging. But that all changed when Jabo and his homies came up. Jabo hopped off the porch when he was around 12 years old and started stealing cars and breaking into houses. He got caught robbing a crib when he was like 14, and Jabo tried to do the race and drive off in a stolen whip. He didn't really know how to drive though, so he just pulled over and let the cops take him to juvie. He was in and out of juvie on little charges from 12 to 15 years old, and none of the early cases were that serious. But when he turned 15, Jabo caught his first real charge. It's not clear exactly what went down, but Jabo ended up getting booked on an attempted murder case. Since he was a minor when it happened, there isn't any public info about the situation, and Jabo has never talked about it either. When he went to juvie, Jabo was running phase all the time.
If it's not out in the public, it's best for him to not even say shit about it. He's smart for that.
And getting into trouble attempted murder case. Since he was a minor when it happened, there isn't any public info about the situation, and Jabo has never talked about it either. When he went to juvie, Jabo was running phase all the time and getting into trouble. He could have been home a lot earlier, but he said he just wouldn't listen to anyone and kept getting time added for breaking rules on the inside. He actually graduated from high school while he was locked up, but Jabo was working on music at the same time from behind bars. He had been rapping his whole life, but never really took it seriously. Back in the day, he would pound on tables at school and freestyle for the homies though. Everyone around him knew he had skills, but Jabo was neck deep in the trenches and wasn't even thinking about becoming a rapper. What a lot of Jabo's fans don't know is that his dad was actually a poppin' rapper in Stockton back in the day named Rari. Rari came up on Nightingale Avenue too. His mom was addicted to drugs the whole time he was growing up, and his dad was always going in and out of jail, so Rari was mostly raised by his grandma. Rari's grandma was really strict with him back in the day and did her best to keep Rari out of the streets. Growing up in her house, he couldn't even listen to rap because his grandma didn't like all the swearing, but Rari still ended up in the trenches. He started breaking into houses and getting into trouble, but what really changed everything for him
is this his daddy right before he died, or this early footage? Like earlier footage in his dad's life, because his daddy looked the same age as him, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. But y'all let me know if y'all know.
When Rari from the local, growing up in her house, he couldn't even listen to rap because his grandma didn't like all the swearing, but Rari still ended up in the trenches. He started breaking into houses and getting into trouble, but what really changed everything for him is when Rari found a local rapper's tape in an abandoned house he broke into with his homies. Nobody knows who the artist was, but it was the first time Rari heard anyone shouting out Stockton on a song, and that's what made him want to hop in the booth and become a rapper. Another big reason he wanted to get out of the trenches was losing his homies to gun violence. Back in 2002, Rari was chilling on the block with his friend Aaron Vickers and some other dudes. Earlier that day, Rari and Aaron had seen cars go by for a funeral and were talking about how they wouldn't want to go through losing a homie like that. Then just a few hours later, Rari watched Aaron die right in front of him. While they were standing on the street, someone pulled through and started letting off shots. Bullets went everywhere and put holes in the crib they were standing in front of, but Aaron was the only one who got hit. Seeing his best friend get killed like that made Rari realize he needed to switch things up.
Damn, bro, everything happens for a reason. You will always put in a certain situation in order for you to I don't even know how to put it to make, some folks understand, but what I'm saying is sometimes that next situation be right in front of you. You feel me? That shit crazy.
And that's when but Aaron was the only one who got hit. Seeing his best friend get killed like that made Rari realize he needed to switch things up. And that's when he really started going hard with the music. But just like Jabo, Rari's trouble with the cops kept getting in the way of his rap career. One time he was on probation and someone in Atlanta wanted to meet with him about a record deal. Rari had been gangbanging, but really wanted to switch up how he moved and make it out of the streets with music. But his parole officer said he couldn't go to Atlanta. Rari knew it was a huge opportunity though, so he took the risk and went out to Atlanta without telling his PO. Unfortunately, the deal didn't work out for him though, and to make it even worse, his parole officer found out about the trip and Rari got booked again for violating his parole. Rari still didn't let it stop his grind though. He came back home and went right back to work. He started investing his own money into the rap game and set up his own studio. He even taught himself how to make beats so he wouldn't have to wait around for other producers to send him their tracks. It took a while to get his name popping, but eventually all the hard work paid off. Rari was racking up thousands of streams, getting booked for shows, and linking up.
Say, I ain't gonna lie, Hip Hop Daily, they could have did a separate video on his dad. Like, let's be real. It sounded like his daddy was really fucking popping. He could have did an extra video.
With other rappers in the city,
But
like Tall T. Tall T was a battle
rapper
rapper from Stockton who was getting a lot of buzz on his name. He had been in the underground scene for years and was about to really pop off. But then in 2012, he was brutally murdered in broad daylight. Tall T was sitting in Long Park with his girlfriend when someone came up and tapped him on the shoulder. Then Tall T turned around and they upped the strap and shot him in the face. Nobody knows why the shooter wanted him dead, but Tall T's death was a massive loss for the Stockton rap game. The shooting also had a big impact on Rari. He'd only known Tall T for like a year before he was killed, but they got super close and were in the studio together all the time. Rari was still on probation and trying to stay out of trouble, and he said that Tall T is the one who really pushed him to stay on the grind and keep focused in the rap game. Rari was also trying to get Jaybo involved with music back then. Jaybo was just a kid, but Rari would bring him to the studio and have him sing on tracks whenever Rari had an R&B artist pull through and record. Rari was making all the right moves and was finally on his way up in the industry, but then he was tragically murdered while trying to protect his kids. It's not clear exactly how it went down, but this is the story according to some sources. When Jaybo was around 11 years old, some teenagers in the hood robbed him and his brother. Rari had just finished 7 years of probation and was really trying to stay out of trouble, but he wasn't gonna let someone just rob his kids and get away with it. So Rari allegedly tracked the teenagers down to press them about it. Nobody knows what really happened next, but after Rari found him, one of the teenagers allegedly pulled out a gun and killed Rari on the spot. Losing his dad changed everything for Jaybo. If Rari...
Losing your daddy to the same niggas that rob you is crazy. Okay, I hope Jaybo got his get back.
Still alive and made it in the music industry, there's no telling what kind of life Jaybo would have had. But after Rari was killed, it didn't take long for Jaybo to jump off the porch and get active. Eventually, Jaybo hopped in the booth and started dropping music. He was working with a company called Fizzler on the Roof, and they were really trying to push Jaybo into the industry. He was running up millions of views on YouTube, but he had too much going on in the streets to really focus on the rap game, and that's how he ended up back in jail. Even though he wasn't even trying to make it in the industry, Jaybo was getting a lot of buzz on his name on the West Coast. Stockton doesn't have a huge rap scene.
This week only, get all Domino's menu price pizzas for 50% off when you order online. Offer ends March 24th. Order now.
Whatever you wish for, we wish too. First response, sensitive to you.
But Jaybo and his homies were kicking off a new wave that was getting a lot of attention in the city. A lot of them were popping off for rap, but behind the music was a bloody war with their ops in the street. EBK has only been around for a few years, but they're already one of the most notorious crews in the city. They say that they're just a rap collective and aren't involved with the streets, but the cops officially classified them as a gang back in 2018. It's not clear how much work Jaybo was putting in for the crew, but since 2019, they've been making all kinds of headlines for turning Stockton into a war zone. Back in 2019, a dude named Ronald Celestine was shot and killed in a drive-by. Reports say it was 2 EBK affiliates who pulled the trigger, and 3 days later, they spun through his hood again and shot up a candlelight vigil that Ronald's family put on. 5 people were hurt during the shooting at the vigil, and one of them tragically didn't make it out alive. Ronald's cousin Benny Lott wasn't affiliated with the streets at all and just came to the vigil to honor his cousin. But the streets of Stockton are so crazy that you can't even go to a funeral without worrying about getting shot. The cops ended up arresting 2 EBK affiliates named Brian Norman and Raymoni Gaines for the shooting. EBK had a lot of heat on them after Ronald and Benny's deaths, but just 2 days after the shooting at the vigil, they allegedly slid into North Stockton and hit up 2 more ops. The police had a lot of pressure to cool the streets off, and a few months later, they ended up booking 9 EBK affiliates for murder, robbery, and a bunch of other charges. Everything calmed down for a while after that, but then a whole new wave of violence sparked up and tore Stockton apart. Before Jaybo started blowing up, the first dude affiliated with EBK who was buzzing in the rap game was a dude named Young Slobby. Young Slobby was on the grind for years before he started popping. He had to invest a lot of cash in his own career before anyone was even paying.
I didn't know he was a part of EBK. I thought he was just, cool with them. Damn.
Attention. But eventually, it all started coming together. Slo was making a lot of noise in Stockton, but he really leveled up when he got tight with a rapper from Sacramento named Bris. Slo and Bris both came up in the trenches and had a lot of chemistry in the booth, and their track 2142 popped off and ran up millions of streams. Bris had been rapping for a long time too, but the link up with Slo's would change everything for both of them. They had plans to take over the West Coast together, but what nobody knew back then is that they were both about to lose their lives to the trenches. While Slo and Bris were linking up and putting on for the West Coast, Bris was beefing with two other rappers from Sacramento named Uzi Marcus and Mozzie. Bris had personal beef with Uzi Marcus because they both had his.
Wait. I fuck with Mozzie music. What? This shit is crazy how all this shit is connecting. This shit wild as hell. Damn, I did
with
not
the
know
same
this.
girl, and Bris was beefing with two other rappers from Sacramento named Uzi Marcus and Mozzie. Bris had personal beef with Uzi Marcus because they both had history with the same girl, and Uzi made the drama public when he dissed Bris on the track 42K and rapped, "Keep it real, you niggas ain't killed a fly, and if it's money on my head, why the fuck I'm still alive? You niggas ain't popping shit, they really just talking shit. Where they at? I'm right here on 42nd with the stick. Lil Bris, he a pussy, and Lil Danny, he a bitch. Keep playing, I'll be outside your granny's with the switch." Bris had issues with Mozzie because he was homies with a rapper from Sacramento named CML Lavish D. Lavish D and Mozzie have been going back and forth for years, and both sides are taking losses in the beef. After Mozzie dissed Lavish D, his homie Zilla Zoe was murdered first. Then a few months later, his homie Jacoby James was killed too. Lavish D's homie Stunner D was killed next, and that's when Bris allegedly got caught up in the beef too. Rumors said that Mozzie's crew was still trying to even.
If I'm not mistaken, I think I did a reaction on the tragic loss of Bris. I don't know if I posted it or not. It might be on my channel, but it might not be. But I remember hearing this story about Bris beefing with that other dude with the dreads. Not Mozzie, but the other dude. I need to go check to see if it's on my channel or not.
Scored, and they caught up to Bris in June 2020 while he was driving down the street. Someone started letting off shots, and Bris crashed into a pole. He hopped out of the car and tried to run away, but unfortunately, Bris wasn't fast enough, and the ops shot him to death. Bris's death had a major impact on young Slobby, but he was still trying to keep the momentum up and stay on his grind. And a year after Bris died, Slo really hit the mainstream when his track I Love You went viral on TikTok. It looked like he was going to be one of the first rappers from Stockton to really go up in the industry. But then in 2022, young Slobby was found dead in the street. Rumors said that both their deaths were tied into the...
California, y'all are... I ain't going to say y'all. I'm not going to say y'all because it ain't y'all. California streets is ruthless as fuck. Soon as a motherfucker go up and try to better their life, here come another motherfucker killing their ass, sending them to jail. You know what I'm saying? It's like crab in a bucket type shit. Like, and this is everywhere. You feel me? It's everywhere. But since we on California, the streets is grimy.
Beef with Mozzie and CML Lavish D. But there's a good rappers from Stockton to really go up in the industry. But then in 2022, young Slobby was found dead in the street. Rumors say that both their deaths were tied into the beef with Mozzie and CML Lavish D. But there's a good chance that Slo was killed by EBK's ops in Stockton. EBK's biggest ops are a set called Trap Mob, aka Flyboys. Jaybo's been sending shots at them ever since he hopped in the booth. Like on the track The Apocalypse, when he raps, "Up it on the biggest nigga moving. I'm a Glock lifter, a shot sender, and I'm spanking any mob member." And, "Hey brother, get up on that hoe and I'ma knock sister. Fuck the mob. I told y'all keep my name up out y'all cock lickers." Rumors say Trap Mob might have been involved with young Slobby's death, and Jaybo aired him out about it on the track Slobby Mode. Jaybo was locked up when Slobby was killed, and on the track, he rapped, "It's not a nigga around me loafing, everybody strapped. Just left Scribner Street, where was everybody at? And I'm with Rico from the 10 when niggas come to sack. And aha, a flag just got squashed, bring your brother back. Suckers killed Slobby, now I'm home, another tomato coming. What's really weird about the situation with young Slobby and Bris is that Jabo is still bumping Mozzie's music on social media. There's nothing tying Mozzie to Slow's death, but a lot of fans are confused because Bris was beefing with Mozzie when he died, and young Slobby was super tight with Bris.
Right.
Then when people were dissing Jabo for not sliding after young Slobby died, he hopped on IG and dissed Mozzie's dead homie K-Squeeze. K-Squeeze allegedly killed another rapper named Lil Jody Woe. Then one day later, K-Squeeze was shot to death too. Jabo wasn't just sending shots on songs on social media though. He's known for throwing hands every time he gets locked up too. Once he was locked up in county with a massive op named Seawalk, who everyone was allegedly scared to fight, but Jabo didn't back down from the fade. During an IG live session, Jabo said that Seawalk dissed him right when he got to jail, but they couldn't fight cause the yard was hot, so they planned to run the fade the next day.
What's up, nigga? He like, yeah, I'm Seawalk, cuz townhomes, da-da-da. I'm like, nigga, I'm Jabo, Southeast, nigga, EBK. The nigga like, nigga, fuck the Southeast. I'm like, damn. So we get to the yard or whatever the case may be, bro. He like, bro, it's hot right now, so we gonna fade in the morning, bro. Or unless you wanna go to the hub. I'm like, bro, I ain't trying to go to the hub, we gonna fade tomorrow.
Jabo admitted that Seawalk beat him, but during the fight, Jabo ended up scratching Seawalk's eye.
So we get on the yard. I ain't gonna lie, he with me. Sure, he shake my hand like, yep, on my mama, I respect you. He like, but you scratched my eye cuz you want to go again? And I keep it a band. I'm like, I ain't gonna lie, bro. We can program. He with me again, I ain't gonna lie. Blood with me again.
A lot of dudes won't admit to ever losing the fight.
Facts.
Jabo knows that if you're really throwing down like that all the time, you can't win them all.
Yeah.
A lot of people were clowning his homie, EBK Young Jock, for getting his chain snatched last year too. But Jabo said just cause you get robbed one time doesn't mean anything.
Shit happens, you feel me? That don't tarnish a nigga gangster.
The way they yanked that nigga, like, bro, what? Fuck no. Nigga, I would have flashed out, I ain't gonna lie to you.
But Jabo said just cause you get robbed one time doesn't mean anything.
Shit happens, you feel me? That don't tarnish a nigga gangster or tarnish a nigga image just because a nigga got something took from him. I'm not saying that it's cool to get something took from you either, you feel me? But when you slip up, shit like that happens.
Some fans were surprised that Jabo was standing up for Young Jock though, because there used to be some tension in the EBK crew. According to rumors, Jock's older brother, Rari B, snitched on the case with EBK Osama and got him locked up. It's not clear exactly what went down, but it caused a lot of issues in the crew, and Jabo even dissed Rari B on the track and raps. Rari turned rat, he couldn't take the hit. They told that nigga 20 years, he started eating cheese. Luckily they were able to squash everything though, but before they could really focus on putting EBK on the map in the rap game, Jabo ended up getting locked up again. In April 2023, Jabo caught a bunch of gun charges and was in jail for another 6 months before they let him out on bail. This time when he came back home, Jabo said he was really tightening up how he moved. He ended up getting out of Stockton and was way more focused on the rap game too. A lot of his music used to leak back in the day because he'd have a bunch of homies in the studio with him and the tracks would end up on the internet before they were supposed to. But Jabo told No Jumper he was getting way more serious about rapping and being more professional in the studio. It looked like Jabo was ready to go all in on his music and leave the street drama behind. But then in January 2024, news broke that EBK Jabo was back in jail for the gun.
Okay, here we go. Cause I never knew what Jabo was in jail for. And look, I'm saying free him, free Jabo, and I don't even know what the bro locked up for. Felony. Handgun. Okay, gun charges. Gun charges. Free Jabo.
Charges he got booked for in 2023. Nobody knows why Jabo got locked up again, but it's probably over a probation violation. The judge didn't even want to give him bail last time because he has so many priors on his record. So if Jabo did violate the bond, he'll probably be sitting behind bars till he goes to trial or takes a plea deal. Hopefully the case doesn't go left for him though. Jabo is buzzing more than ever in the rap game right now and has serious potential to really put Stockton on the map if he beats these charges and stays focused.
If y'all enjoyed this video, give this video a thumbs up, share this video, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.